Hey everybody, and welcome to day 266. So we're able to return to running and jumping today. So first up, I haven't done these single leg jumps in a while. Last time I was doing a similar one, I was doing seated off a box, and it tweaked my hip. So I've been staying away from them. The left one is still weaker than the right on these, but this is 30 pounds per side. I'm just basically going into an RDL, trying to pause or take whatever stretch reflex out and then do my best to jump. But again, these are very challenging, even just to get off the ground. You feel like you can't jump over a piece of paper. 6 per side there. And then on to the sprints, still a heavy sled here with 60 pounds in there. Again, the heaviest I use is 70 pounds, so 60 is still very heavy here. Temperature was down to I think 95 today, so it didn't feel bad at all compared to last week for sure. So yeah, 6 rounds of sprints here as usual. Don't feel the hamstring on them, don't feel any Achilles, so everything felt good here. Happy about these. And then I wanted to find a way to do the straight leg raise without a partner, basically. Thought of a bunch of different ways, but I really want to get the bottom position, the stretch position. This was ended up being pretty low down there, so it's pretty good. I put 15 pounds on my foot and then loaded 60 pounds on top of the chair there. It seemed to do the job pretty well. And then the dumbbells are to help hold you down, because your torso is going to want to raise up on these. Okay, moving on to the overhead isometrics. This is down to 170 pounds. Well, I started back over at 160, and then we're going to ramp our way back up. Still a lot of pressure on that left forearm, but a little bit more manageable with the lighter weight here. Then 1 round of triceps. Of course, there's a never-ending supply of airplanes flying overhead during working sets, but we did 2 sets of back extensions here, which I haven't done for about 11 or 12 days. This is a 75-pound dumbbell and a couple purple bands. I don't really keep track too much of the reps. I just go to failure, because if I set up the back extension a little further, a little back, the tension on the band is always going to change. So I get like 18 reps here. Really smokes the lower back, glutes, hamstrings. Then 1 more set. Added a black band here, still 75-pound dumbbell. Okay, I get 14. I'm happy with that. You see, I got to readjust my hips every couple reps, just because that left one keeps wanting to come forward. Okay, this is a trap bar variation we're going to do today. This was from last year. You see, at first I couldn't even round my back or drop down, get a bracing. That was 350 pounds there. Then this was by the end of last summer with 390. I can round my back and be more dynamic, but you can see I can't put weight on the right side. Yeah, that one just crushed the right side of my hip, basically. And then this was from February with 430 pounds. Again, doing this set me back. That right QL was tight for about 100 days after, just from this. And you can see that wasn't necessarily super hard rep. So, but since then, we're about 14 pounds heavier today. So we're going to go for 490, which would be 60-pound increase in total weight. And I believe about a 22-pound increase pound for pound. So first set there was with 160. This is with 340. I want you to look at my left hip when I'm halfway up. Watch what it does. So play it again. See, it has to wiggle around when that chain tension kicks on. So if successful here, this is 490 plus 172 pounds of chain. Not all of them quite come off the ground. I've done 40 pounds more than this, but this is like 61 pounds off my best pound for pound.
Billy boy.
Okay, successful. So it did move slower than the one from February, but obviously it was a much heavier lift. We pretty much have all the trap bar deficits. There's one more variation that's slightly raised off of a block, but we'll just go back through and keep getting all these trap bar lifts closer and closer to my best. Now, I felt comfortable during this lift. I had to take the foot off the gas to kind of let the hips shift around a little bit here, but I didn't feel like I was ever gonna miss the lift or anything like that. And for people that think just because you're lifting with the hips high that the quads aren't activated, after this my quads were so pumped where it's like hard to bend. Like if you're gonna go walk and step down, the legs want to buckle. So just because there's not an extreme bend in the knee doesn't mean that the quads aren't being challenged maximally, because obviously, as you can see, the knees start bent, and then as the bar comes up to around the feet, the knees have to rebend, and the knees are going to keep shoving forward more and more and more to keep that bar in the center of your body. Now, going into this, my left hip and the SI joint was a little bit tweaky, and yeah, afterwards it was a little bit, same thing, not bad, but my erectors, the lower back muscle, pretty much all the back muscles felt zero, like 0% fatigue, like perfectly fine after. Again, just because something looks a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that that's how it feels if you've never done it before. So yeah, one of the main goals over the next 5 months or so will be to try to get back these trap bar deadlift lifts if possible. If they beat me up, I can scrap them, whatever. But over the next 5 months, I hope to reclaim them, my pound for pound records on them, and then after that we'll shift the focus back to the zerchers. But because mainly I want to keep that pathway fresh for when I go back to the zerchers, where I can start improving on them again. But honestly, the zerchers are therapeutic, and I would like to throw one in because I know it will make my hip feel better. So we'll have to see about that. But thanks everyone for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.